Hi there, guys. How should I start this? Sorry, I'm feeling a bit tired. I think I'm coming down with the flu or something. But yeah, this month of September, like if I had some balloons or streamers or party hats, I'd put in the video. But I have nothing. Yeah, but this month of September is very special because 10 years my website has been around from this September. So I'm having a birthday, man. My website's 10 years old. I've been covering Mortal Kombat for 10 years. Technically, I've been doing it a bit longer, but see what happened is with my website. At first, it was just a homepage, you know, and then September 1999 is when I finally decided to give the site a name. I call it Total Mortal Kombat, and that's when I started sort of posting news bulletins, you know. So yeah, so I count it from then because that's when the site had a name and that's when I was posting news. So the site's 10 years old, but I just wanted to make a video and talk about the ride, pretty much from then till now, and I've got a few stories and a few things to show you, some photos, and I'm going to put stuff throughout this video, so let's get down to business. The first thing I'll say is, you all know, I've described to you how I moved from one state, you know, from Queensland to Victoria, Australia. When that happened, you know, it was a big thing. I left all my friends behind, so, you know, was trying to sort of get back into school, but I personally didn't want to do it. But my parents wanted me to do school, obviously. But the schools down here were sort of like, you know, strict, and it just didn't seem my thing. And I was having trouble getting into school, so I ended up going to this community centre just to like sort of do something, you know, do a bit of computers, you know, do this and that, or whatever they do at these places. So I ended up going to this community centre, and there I learned a lot about the internet. That's where it started, really, at that community centre. And, you know, we're talking, you know, Windows 3.11, Netscape Gold, and Trumpet Windsock. For those of you who are IT nerds, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. ICQ, MIRC, you know, I've been using it that long, you know, and now you don't need any of that shit pretty much. But yeah, so like back then I was already good with computers, like, because I had this 486 and I was just already good. But, you know, the internet, man, what the fuck's the internet, you know? Yeah, and I couldn't believe how cool it was, you know, that all this information, especially being in Australia, you know, with you guys, Americans and Canadians, you have such a big community over there, you know. You guys sort of had the BBSs and all that already, but it wasn't very common in Australia, you know. There were like some, you know, big IT nerds who had BBSs and stuff, you know. I used to read about it. My Commodore 64 could do it. You know, and I always wanted that phone thing, you know, just because I thought, oh my god, you can put a fucking phone on the Commodore 64, that's crazy. You know, but, you know, it was something that was never available in Australia because, you know, no one would buy it here, no one would know what the fuck it is, you know, so, yeah, so when the internet came along, it was crazy, man, suddenly all this information there. And at this time, this is like 1995, like late 95, 96, right? So, you know, I told you that I sort of messed up the order here. I'd already played a lot of Mortal Kombat in Melbourne, and then sort of come to this community centre. So I was already in the arcade scene. I loved playing the games, and with my local arcade, you know, when they got MK3 in that, I was just like, oh, fuck MK3, it's so cool. At first, I was playing it in the city, and then, you know, my local arcade got it, and I was like, man, I was just playing MK3 all the time, and the boss there ended up, he saw how obsessed I was with it, and just, he ended up, saying, hey, you're pretty good at that, you know, and all that, and I'm like, yeah, I sort of get the moves off the internet, and, he's like, oh, yeah, you know, and I'd have people, like, crowd around me, like, I'd be doing fatalities and that, and they'd be like, this guy's crazy, man, he knows all the fucking moves, you know, this is a new game, and I knew every fatality, you know, because of the internet. And anyway, I don't know how it came about, but I suggested that I should sell the moves to people so they could have the moves too. You know, because not everyone had the internet, especially back then, you know, it's still new sort of here. Like, I mean, the internet was around here, it just wasn't so mainstream. Everyone's got the fucking internet now. I've got the internet on my phone, you know. But back then, you know, I'm like, we should like sell the move, you know. And he goes, oh, that's a good idea. He goes, we'll make it 50-50 profits. So like, because I didn't work at the shop, I didn't work there at first. He goes, oh, you can have the $3 or credits if you like. So a lot of the time I just took the credits, you know, just because I loved MK3. But I thought I'd show you guys. I dug them up just now. I've got it still, man. I keep everything, you know. But I reckon this is cool. Okay, so here's the original folder that they kept in the shop when they gave out the moves. See that? $3. $3 got you the move, man. And if I open it up, there's like a tally inside. Look. It's like how many were sold and how many credits were owing to me and all this shit. You know, dates and it's crazy, man. Signatures and yeah. But yeah, I'll show you some of the moves and everything. So that was a Mortal Kombat 3 one. And, you know, it did really well. I sold a lot. I mean, this is just one of the folders. I think there was another one before that. And, yeah, then Ultimate MK3 came out. So, obviously, Ultimate MK3 at $3 a sheet as well. Yeah, look, there's more tallies. Oh, yeah, this is cool. Here's one of the sheets. Here's one of the move sheets. So, this is what they look like that I used to sell for $3. Let me go in close. So you'll see it heaps of spelling errors because I was never good at spelling, but I'm a lot better now. But back then it was like really bad. But yeah, as you can see, you know, I used to just photocopy them, sort of just sticky tape them and then photocopy them, sticky tape the pictures on. You know, and a lot of things I didn't have the moves for. Like look at this, Ermac. There's like fucking blank, and people will be like, "Why is it blank?" Classic Sub-Zero, you know. You know, and then I had like the 2-player codes and everything, you know, what version of the game you're playing, blocking disabled, this stuff's crazy. I've never really shown anyone this. I've never shown you YouTube guys this, but yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I used to sell those, and I'll show you the source. I don't know if this guy is still around the communities. But man, he had the best fucking site, man. What was his name? White Rat or something, I think it was? White Rat? Oh, hang on. I'm gonna look here. I swear it's White Rat. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure it was White Rat. Anyway, I'll show you. So this was the source material I used to use. Ultimate MK3 1996 text only version. This will probably look familiar to some old schoolers who were, you know, Shang Tsung's moves there and morphs and that. You know, so I never blatantly copied this guy's that. I sort of just typed them up and made them, you know, sort of quicker. You know, here's a whole lot more moves. Actually, here's one of the originals. Here's the original copy, the one that I used to photocopy. It's still got the tape on it. Check this out. That's pretty cool. Look at that. See, it's gone all fucking yellow because it's so old. That was the original copy that I used to photocopy off. And no, it's stuck. Through some of the tape. Yeah. Ooh, it doesn't sound too good. Oh, Reptile's picture's falling off. Yeah. Yeah, that's some old school shit right there. What else have I got in here? Oh, some other random shit. Sorry, I'm sort of just looking through this stuff myself. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah. Ultimate MK3 moves. Striker's gun move. That's the first one there. You can fire the gun now. Yeah, so that was crazy, man. Like, and you know, at the time, so I was playing MK3. I was in MK3 mode, obsessed with MK3. But at the same time, I was learning how to make a website. in Netscape Gold. Netscape, you guys probably remember Netscape Navigator. They had Netscape Navigator Gold, had an editor built in, and it was really easy to make a web page. And so I made this website, you know, because I finally got the internet at my house not long after I started working at this arcade, so it would have been probably, I don't know, a year later. Yeah. And yeah, I got the internet at my house, and when I did that, it came with its own little web space, FTP server and that, you know, 10 megabytes. And yeah, started this website, Total Mortal Kombat. At first it was Luke's homepage, and it just had random shit on it, like, you know, Command and Conquer pictures and fucking screensavers and all the usual rubbish that you probably get spyware or viruses in now. But yeah, back then, you know, it was all pretty clean, and I threw up these Mortal Kombat pictures, and people would just always talk about the Ultimate MK3 pictures. Actually, I've got one here. You guys have probably seen them before. You know, the pictures are like Ermac and Sub-Zero and Scorpion and that from Ultimate MK3. Here's one here. There. I don't know if you can see that properly, or whatever. You know what I mean. You've seen it before, I'm sure. Anyway, yeah, I had them on my website. No other site had them. Like, I just flogged them from... I think I flogged them from, like, the official site at the time. It might even be Midway when they had it up, and I put it on my site. And no one else seemed to be able to find them, and I'd get so many comments about them. So, yeah, so I started focusing on Mortal Kombat pictures and that. And I made a web ring. Remember those web rings? Made a web ring, had the the mailing list and all the usual bullshit back then. And at the time, you know, I had this, you know, other sites were already pre-established, like Mortal Kombat 5, MK5.org, which was what was it? What was it before it was MK5? Mortal Kombat? No, the fuck, I don't know what it was before it was MK5.org. But, yeah, whatever it was before it was MK5.org, you know, there was that one, then there was Planet MK and The Realm Mortal Kombat, which is still around, of course, yeah, and, I mean, I used to think, oh man, those sites are so big, and when my site started getting bigger and bigger and popular, I started making it more and more Mortal Kombat orientated, and sort of phased out the Command and Conquer and the screensavers, and just got rid of all that random shit. And just made it all Mortal Kombat, you know. And then I thought, you know, maybe one day I'll be as good as those sites. And, you know, I am now, you know. And, I mean, I pretty much say since about 2003 or 4, which is, what, the last 5 years, the site has really become, you know, huge. And I'll tell you why. But first, I want to show you guys some stuff. I want to show you guys some old school. I've dug up some files from my old website. So I'm just going to show you that quickly now. And then I'll talk about the site, how it progressed. Alrighty, so you guys should be able to see this. Now, I don't have my old website's files complete anymore, because I used to change them around a lot and that. But what I've done here is I've loaded up some of the old news archives, which I just take up the full screen. But when it was in the old site, there used to be a sidebar down the side here and like a thing at the top. You know, it was like frames, and this would be like sort of in the middle. Anyway, yeah, here's the first news post, which is dated the 1st of the 9th, 1999. Reduce the sidebar pics size to fit more in if I need to. So how's that for a first news post that talks about the website, nothing else? And then, you know, got the next one. In case you didn't know, this is the first Mortal Kombat related post on TMK. In case you didn't know, MKG Mortal Kombat Gold is out now in USA for Dreamcast. From what I've seen, it looks excellent. It's basically a remake of MK4 with 5 new characters, endings. See noob.com for the most up-to-date info. So there you go, Ed. You were in my first news post relating to Mortal Kombat. How cool is that? And then you got, you know, added a news section, which is pretty funny considering it's the 3rd news article. It should have been the first one. Added a news section. I'll be adding MK news as I get info on MK related things or blah 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 blah. You know, so yeah, as you can see, you know, I post pictures. The pictures were real shit quality because, like,
I only had the 10 megabytes, you know. Later I upgraded it to 50, but that's all I had, you know. And yeah, it was, you know what? The site had horrible colours, like this fluoro green and blue, but it worked, you know. Everyone remembered my site. You know, here's me talking about the MK Conquest when it first came out on the VCDs, and here's my second Winamp skin, and excuse me, here's a Mortal Kombat game that I was gonna buy, and I never got around to buying, and I still don't have it, and you can't fucking get it anyway. And it's Mortal Kombat Mythologies. It's a little LCD handheld, and it's fucking rare. It's rare as, and I'm really pissed off because I was gonna buy that, and I just never had the money, and then it just disappeared off the face of the fucking earth. But oh well, that's life. Yeah. Here's me talking about Defenders of the Realm videos, you know, Special Forces strategy guide. That actually never came out. That was axed. But yeah, that was saying how it's going to come out, and the game was so bad. That's probably why they axed it. You know? Yeah, here's some other stuff on Special Forces. I've still got these. It was a little like PDF supplement. And yeah, so pretty much, you know, that was the news, and it went up to 2002, pretty much around the time Deadly Alliance came out. See, there's a photo, Ed Boon there. There's some more Winamp skins. There's Sub-Zero doing its fatality, you know, and all that. You know, so the last thing was an interview that was done by JRF, who interviewed Dan Forden, which actually, you know what, I've got to put this on the new site, eh? So it's funny, you go back to the old stuff and you find all this stuff, you know, it's cool like that. But yeah, so there's a little trip down memory lane. So yeah, you know, you had my site like that, which became popular, even though it was that horrendous with the colours and that, became real popular, man. I had my own little forum and that. And then I became friends with Dark Scorpion. Now, this was around the time of Deadly Alliance Tournament Edition, and he made this new site called MK Alliance. And at the time, I was big into chat, you know, and I was a Mortal Kombat IRC operator. I used to hang out in the MK Alliance channel, and everything Dark Scorpion wanted to do, he wanted to make a network of sites, sort of like MK Online. And I'm like, yeah, I'm in, and we had this network, and it was cool. And I was all for it. I did everything he wanted to do. I'm like, we should do this and that. And, you know, I went up the ranks real fast. And we had ranks like TMK Masters, TMK Assassins, Grandmasters, and I think there was something else. Anyway, so Grandmaster was obviously the top title. And, yeah, obviously I went up to Grandmaster very fast. And then, you know, Dark Scorpion, he got busy with sort of life, and he sort of wanted to leave Mortal Kombat behind, and he said, I'm thinking about closing my website, because his website was called mkwarriors.net. So he's like, and I'm like, you can't close it, you know, that site is brilliant, because, you know, my website, Total Mortal Kombat, as good as it was, I didn't have the information he had, like all that stuff on fighting styles and clans and races and that was Dark Scorpion's baby, you know, and he worked on that with a few other people. And the content was so unique, and I said, no, you can't close your site, you know. I'll post news for you. I'll do it for you. Just don't close the site. You pay for it, and I'll maintain it. I said that, so I was going to run 2 websites, just so that website would stay online because it was so good. And so I did that for a while, posted news and that. And then he said, look, I'm thinking about just closing it anyway. And he goes, how would you feel about merging the site with yours? And I'm like, at first I was like, you know, it didn't feel like it, and then I thought, oh man, there's so much good content though, and he had this really cool layout because he knew PHP, I only knew HTML, so we did it. We went ahead and did it and merged the sites, and I would boast about how cool the site was going to be when it opened. I had all this stuff planned, and I said to Dark Scorpion, I'm like, is it possible for you to do this? Can you make it so you can buy themes on the forum, like you post and you earn money, and then we'll be the only forum that'll have it so you can, you know, with your coins you'll be able to buy themes. And he worked really hard on it, wouldn't work, and then like I remember he was about to throw in the towel, and he goes, I'll try one more thing, and that last thing he tried, it fucking worked. I couldn't believe it. I was over the moon. I thought, this is brilliant, and we're going to have so many themes, and we still do. We're the only website that has about 56 different themes. 56! MK Online has 6 or something, you know. We got 56, man. Like, I went crazy. I made themes for so many characters, like Scorpion, Sub-Zero, then I had Melina, then I had the sexy Melina one, I had the zombie Liu Kang one, I had the special edition one. I had all these different themes with some had ridiculous prices on them, because it wasn't hard to earn money, but sometimes it would take time. You put all your coins in the bank, and if you waited like 2 months, you'd have 1 million coins or something, you know, because we had like an interest system. And yeah, so Dark Scorpion left, and I didn't know he was going to totally leave. He said, I'll help you out, you know, every now and then. But he sort of just left. Like, once he gave it to me, that was it. You know, because, like, there were things, you know, people attacked the site, and I had to sort of figure it all out myself. I didn't know PHP, and I sort of had to, you know, I've been keeping it going. But honestly, yeah, the site's a bit slow, and you know, it could do with an overhaul. Don't get me wrong, I'd love to do it. I just don't have the time, you know. And for those 3 extra seconds that it takes to load a page, you know, it's not worth my time, you know. I'd rather use my time to keep the site going, post news and that. And that's what I do. And yeah, I've been posting the news and everything. And you know, as soon as we had that new site, man, Midway started to look at us, and because before then they wouldn't look at us. And even then, it was really hard to break the ice. They're like, but you're in Australia, you know. Yeah, we only talk to Americans, you know. And I persisted. I really, I kept emailing, and I said, look, you know, I've got all these people, and you're going to knock back my site, you know. I got a really good website here. I got stuff on my site that no other site has. And those sites still don't have that stuff. And some of those sites do have that stuff, and they fucking stole it from my site. You know, that MK Bible bullshit from MK Online. So much of that stuff stolen from my website. You know, and because they all fucking hate me, and Crow thinks I'm a fucking idiot or whatever, you know, they ignore me, and they won't credit me, and fucking assholes. But anyway, getting off track. But, you know, yeah, then Midway started to look at us, you know, and I started to get, you know, screenshots, pictures, high resolution images. I'm like, oh my god, this stuff's so cool. And the site just started to get more and more popular, and I was posting everything high res and really good quality and that. And then, you know, Deception came out, and I got one of my first exclusives, man. I got that Scorpion, an unfinished Scorpion render, which my media contact let me post, you know, and it's that render of Scorpion holding the sword, but it's not finished. It's like from the wireframe, you know. There's no background or anything. And I was like, oh my god! Even though it wasn't really it was cool, but you know, it wasn't a finished image. But I like that. It was more behind the scenes, you know. It was like one of my first exclusives, and I got the Shaolin monks. I got some stuff there, screenshots. But you know, when we went to E3, that was big, man. In 2006, when I first went to E3, man, it was crazy. It was like a dream come true, because before then, I knew about E3. I used to see MK5.org would go, Planet MK would go, you know, and I used to look at the pictures. You know, there's pictures of like Kerry Hoskins and other chicks dressed up as Tanya and Sonya when MK4 came out, and that was around the time when I started looking at E3 going, it was, I think, 1998, yeah, 1998, and I'm like, oh man, I want to go to that show. That looks so cool. There's like people dressed up as like Tanya and Sonya and all this. And I always wanted to go since then, you know. And it was like a dream to go. I'm like, fuck, America, I'll never get there. You know, that's just so expensive, and it costs a lot of money to go to America from Australia. It's a lot cheaper now, but back then, you know, it was fucking heaps. And yeah, no, I just played it cool, and you know, went through my jobs and that, and it was always in the back of my head that I wanted to go. And then the chance came up. The chance to go to E3 came up in 2006. I'm working in this game shop in Rooney Ponds, and we're heavily focused on Nintendo. And the boss says, we're going to go to Los Angeles for the unveiling of the Wii, which was called the Revolution then. And he's like, you interested in going? And I'm like, fucking A, you know. I'm like, do you mind if I, like, you know, hang around with the Mortal Kombat guys too, you know? Because I'm like, it's been like one of my dreams to go. And he's like, nah, it's cool, you know. And yeah, so I got 2 things. That was so cool. I got to, you know, see a lot of Nintendo stuff because I love Nintendo, but at the moment, you know, they're selling out big time. But yeah, got to hang around with Nintendo. It was so cool, man. Got to meet Reggie, fucking got to meet a lot of other high up Nintendo people. It was grass, man. And I got to meet Ed Boon for the first time, Steve Baran, Tony Goski, Sal DeVita, Dan Forden, man, Sean Hemrick. These names, man. My whole, like, up until then, like, it's, you play the game, and when you're so passionate about it, you know, with Mortal Kombat 1, you know those names. You see them every time you beat the game. You know, design and software, Ed Boon, you know, Ed Boon, John Tobias. You see the names, music and sounds, Dan Ford. Oh, he's so cool, he does the best music. You know, backgrounds, Tony Goski. Oh man, that guy must be fucking sick to make a level like the Pit, you know. And then you're there. You're fucking there. You think you're never going to meet these people. It's crazy, man. It was crazy for me. And like, the first time I saw Ed Boon, he was just standing, I've said this, he was just standing there. I'm like, yeah, and like this guy was idolized to me because I liked the game so much, and I'm like, wow, this guy had such, this idea that he had, this game is just so awesome, and I could ask him a million things, you know, and I couldn't think of one thing to ask him. You know what? It's like that when you meet someone, you can't think of shit. You just, it doesn't matter how prepared you are, like that initial shock of seeing someone like Ed Boon and Tony Goski and Dan Forden. Dan Forden, man, I didn't even know he'd be there. That's so cool, you know. And oh yeah, I spoke to Ed, and he was just really normal. He was just really laid back, reserved, you know. He was really cool, man. And I got to speak to Steve Baran, and I'm like, oh my god, Steve Baran, man, this guy like came up with characters like Sector and Cyrax, Cabal, you know, characters I've played a million times, you know, and I'm suddenly talking to these people, and it was just awesome, man. And then, like, you know, went back to Australia, and I lost my job and had a fight with the boss, and that really, you know, dampened how cool it was, and it took a while to get over that, just because that was just shit, man. He got jealous, I think, because I got invited to E3, so I didn't have to pay, and he had to pay $500, and I think he was like sort of cut. But whatever. Came back to Australia. Yeah, it was cool, you know. But lost my job, which sucked. When I got over that, you know, I was just thinking how cool E3 was. I loved it, you know. And then we had, you know, 2007 came along, and there was nothing, no Mortal Kombat. It was, yeah, because it was Armageddon, and they were still working on the next one, which became a Mortal Kombat vs. DC Universe. So another opportunity came along to go to E3 last year, 2008. My dad was saying how he had all these points because he travels a lot for work, and he had all these Air Canada points and shit. And I'm like, can I use them? Like, he's like, because he was saying, oh, they're going to expire or something. I'm like, don't let them expire. Let me use them. I'll go back to LA. You know, and he's like, you can afford to go to LA. I'm like, well, if I save the money, can I go? You know, he's like, all right, you know. So he gave me the points, and yeah, I saved up a bit of money, and off I went. Off I went to LA, you know, and I got to play MK versus DC Universe. And the coolest thing, I told my dad, one of the coolest things was that I was invited back in 2008 to E3, and hardly anyone got invites. It was really a special thing to be invited, so I must have been doing something right, you know. And I don't know if Midway had any sort of hand in it. So I think someone maybe suggested that I should go, because last year they dropped the invites. Anyone could go, and I didn't even get an invite that time, which was really, really bizarre, you know. Anyway, yeah, I got this invite, and off I went. It was grass, you know, and but it was different, you know. Like when I went in 2006, I could film whatever I wanted. And they were like, yeah, go nuts, film everything. You know, it was all cool. But now that it was more strict, they were like, it was the rules were so strict. And to be honest, the media, I won't say who, but there were two media people there. Three. One for me, for international, and she was great. And then there were two for the Americans. I'm not going to say any names, but one of the American girls was really nice, and the other one was super strict. And it felt, even though I understand that she had to protect, it's her job to protect the interest of Mortal Kombat, she was just, it was disrespectful. You know, I come from Australia, and she'd be like, you know, you can't film, you know, anything, you know. And I bought a camera, I spent, you know, thousands on plane tickets, I bought cameras, I bought 20 mini DV tapes. I wanted to get so much footage, you know. She's like, nah, you can't film, you know. And then I found out she was letting other people film, and I had to go up to her and say, look, you're letting other people film. I don't want to do that. She should have just said, yeah, you can film. She straight away just treated me like, you know, some sort of fucking fanboy that doesn't know shit. You know, won't play by the rules, try and sneak dodgy footage or something, you know. But, and she finally let me film, but she was real strict about it. The camera can't be like right on the screen, which was what it was like in 2006. It has to be back, and you have to be playing the game in the frame and all this shit. I'm like, yeah, you know, I went along with it. That's fine, yeah, that's fine, you know. And then I first started filming. I set it all up, and it's me playing, and I'm in the frame. And I set it up exactly how she wanted. I started filming, and she came up and she grabbed the camera and she went, no, that's not what I said. You're filming the screen. And I wasn't. I totally wasn't, you know. And she just went off. And it was just, oh man, it put me down a bit, to be honest. But it was cool. I mean, Ed Boon was there, and Brian Lieberon was there, and there was no Steve Baran or Dan Forden this time. Hector Sanchez was there, and Paulo Garcia was there. Sean Himmerich, which I didn't really get to speak too much in 2008. I said a quick hello. I think that's it. Yeah, man. And anyway, I got the footage. It was cool. I was having fun. As soon as she left me alone, you know, I was playing the game. I was playing with this guy from Warner's, and he's like, "Oh, you're pretty good at this, you know." And we were just mucking around. It was grouse, and oh, it was so much fun, man. And then on the last day, you know, Hector, he made it good, man. Like, I think he sort of knew I was a bit disappointed with the way marketing were talking to me, because there was this time when I try and set up the camera and get footage, because I got like half an hour, and she thought I had like 2 hours footage, and I had half an hour. And yeah, I'd set up the camera, and then she goes, no, I need this Mortal Kombat console, and then I'd have to pack it all up. And then she got annoyed because I had to pack the camera up every time, and she was telling, like, you know, Midway people, don't let him set up the don't let him set up the tripod and all this shit. I think Hector knew I was sort of pissed about that, and I'm like, well, what am I supposed to do, you know? I'm just trying to get my hours footage, that's it, you know? And he was really cool, man, and he's like, you know, we were having our little game at the end, me and Shu, our little face-off with the websites, and I just beat Shu. He almost had me with that Sub-Zero trap move, but I managed to get through it. And then Hector came along, he went, who lost, man? And I'm like, he lost, you know? And then he kicked him off, and he went, let me show you how it's done. And he jumped on, and he schooled me, man. He schooled me, and it was cool, you know. We had a game, and I got to admit, I was pretty good in that game. I have to say, you know. But Hector was a master of that. He knew that scorpion move, that trap move, where you can keep the flames down. That's really handy. Works really well when you play online too. A lot of people don't know you can keep their flames going forever. That move doesn't run out. And he got me good with that, and yeah, set me up in some good combos on the end there and beat me. And then he did the fatality. That was so awesome. You know, that made the whole trip for me. So, you know, man, and you know, now I'm back in Australia, and E3's just gone again, 2009. I wanted to go. Like I said, I wasn't invited, but with everything that's happened with Midway and all that, you know, they weren't there anyway. So, you know, I guess it's better that I didn't go. But I want to go this year. Definitely want to go this year. You know, I'm working now, and I'm making a lot of money. So even if I have to pay, I'm fucking going. Yeah, and anyway, just back to the site, you know, and what I should say is, when Mortal Kombat DC was announced, I started the YouTube videos. I already had clips up, but I didn't start doing reviews or anything. Like, I always wanted to do them, but I thought people would think they're stupid, you know, like, I'm not as good at doing reviews as some of the other people out there. Like, you know, people like Angry Video Game Nerd or even Nostalgia Critic, you know, those guys are really good at doing reviews because they write it all down, and that they're more prepared, they've got it all organised, you know. Angry Video Game Nerd's done video work before. You know, with me, I'm just sort of putting the camera on and just talking and trying to remember everything. And there's no script. And I know people like it. It seems more earthy or natural, I guess. But yeah, I started doing the reviews back then, and I had the award, most viewed, and that's when I shot a video of me talking about my reaction to MKDC. At first it was like, oh, what I've heard up until now, and then I thought, yeah, it's funny because I was watching the video the other day. It's me saying like, apparently someone reckons Batman's in the game, and I'm like, yeah, right, or something like that, you know. And then I found out Batman was in the game, and I was like, oh, what the fuck, man? That's when I did that little joke where I pretend to hang myself, you know, Shawshank style. But yeah, since then I started doing the reviews, and it's been a year, and you know, 4,000 subscribers, which is pretty good. And I've never asked anyone to subscribe. I've never put like a subscribe and an arrow anywhere, although I'm getting tempted just to see if I can get more and more people subscribing. But oh yeah, I've got 4,000 people now, you know, and I got a really good audience of, most of the fans are cool, except for that one fuckhead before. He's like posting like on one of my rant videos actually about ticket inspectors. He's like, you know, they weren't even checking for tickets. This guy's like telling me about something, and he wasn't even fucking there. You know, I was there, and I know they were fucking. You get those crazy fans, man. But you know, most of the fans are cool, you know, and it's just been so much fun, you know. And yeah, so it's been 10 years, and it's been such a long journey. With the website, you know, I've always, since I took over with MK Warriors, I've always wanted to maintain posting of images, sounds, music. That's always been my specialty, media. Fans love the media. They love to be able to hear the music from Mortal Kombat. I'll give you an example. You know, if I load up my Winamp playlist, I've got it on here. There's the MK versus DC Universe thing. I like being able to listen to that, you know, and a lot of the time, you know, Midway don't release this stuff, or they don't release loading screens or images or sounds, and it's sad because, you know, that stuff keeps the community healthy. It keeps people talking about it. Oh, did you hear the fucking music for MKDC? Did you hear the main theme? Yeah, it's fucking awesome, man. But when that stuff's not out, you know, people are just like, oh, where do I get the music? You know, and only a lot of people don't hear it, or it doesn't get around, you know. So I do my best to post sounds, music, renders, you know, stuff that hasn't been posted by Midway. And I also try and get the stuff from Midway too. Like with Armageddon, I got all those mugshots, you know, and the fans loved that because they was so high resolution, and you could see all the detail in the background of the little mugshots, which are like that big in the game, but they were like this big on the computer, you know, they were so clear. And the meat mugshot looked so cool, it was so crisp, you know, and it was just crazy, man, and I love being able to do stuff like that. So, getting to the point with MK versus DC Universe, since the game's come out, I've been trying to find a way to get the loading screens out of the game. Now, I asked Midway for them, but to be honest, they said no, in so many words. But I think the reason they said no was they were in the middle of a shitstorm with their closing down and financial problems, and I just don't think they had the time to even think about like indulging some fan request. So I was like, so yeah, I'm looking at these files. I managed to be able to get the files off the Xbox disc, and I'm good with computers, and I'm always good at getting sounds and things out of you know, banks. And I made it a mission to get the loading screens out, and when I looked at the files on the Xbox disc, each file is like loading screen 1, loading screen 2, and I'm like, oh, this shouldn't be too hard. And I'm analysing the file, and nothing can open it, you know, and I've been trying since the game came out to open these. I've tried every tool under the sun to do this.
you know, and all I knew was that each loading screen had 9 different pieces to it, TGA files. So I was trying TGA extractors and anyway, 1 week ago, not even, a few days ago, just before I'm thinking what content to put up for this has to be fake. I found a tool that does it, you know, and I'm not telling anyone what it is at the moment because it's going to be my little secret for a while. But you know, eventually everyone will find out, and then you know this stuff will be available watermark free. But yeah, I was able to do all the loading screens, and it took 2 days. I did the DC ones one day, I did the MK ones another day, but I had to join those 9 pictures, join them all together to make one loading screen, and there were 26 DC ones and 36 MK ones. And tonight I put them online. So as a celebration for my website being 10 years old, I've put up all these loading screens from MKDC Universe, and those loading screens are cool. Don't you reckon they're cool? I can't believe Midway didn't release those during the they could have used them for promo. They're so cool. But yeah. Anyway, I'm going to release a few other things too in the month of September to celebrate my 10-year anniversary. So I've been trying to get more sounds and music from MKDC Universe, but it's not looking good at the moment. It's very tricky, and you know you need to find the right tools to do it unless you're some sort of programmer. But you know, I'm still trying everything I can. But even if I can't, you know, I can post some other stuff. You know, post some more pictures. I've got some of the Versus renders that weren't released, and a few other miscellaneous things from MKDC. Still some sounds I've got to post from previous Mortal Kombat games too that I might think about posting. And yeah, anyway, I just wanted to share with you guys, you know, what it's been like, the ride, you know. It's 10 years. That's incredible. 10 years of my life. You know, most people say I live to be 90. That's 1/9 of my life dedicated to Mortal Kombat. And when I say dedicated, I mean fucking dedicated. I mean, you know, you get people who are fans, you know, but man, I played the arcades, I had a website, I went to America. Now, how many people do you know who fly to another country just to play the new Mortal Kombat, you know? And, you know, that was me. I've told people, yeah, I've been to LA twice, and they're like, where'd you go? And I'm like, not many places. They're like, oh, so why'd you go to LA? You know, I'm like, well, I got to play the new Mortal Kombat game. And then they're just like, the fuck? You know? And then I explained to them, you know, that's my passion and that. And they're like, oh, that's cool, you know. But, you know, most people go to another country just to see the sights, you know. And I saw a few sights, don't get me wrong. But there was a lot more of America I could have seen, believe me. But, yeah, it's just been a crazy, crazy ride. And, yeah, 10 years. And, you know, it's not over. It's not over. Because I want to go next year. And, you know, I'm glad that the Mortal Kombat legacy isn't finished. You know, like, it could have been bad if Warner didn't buy Midway or something, you know. But, yeah, it's cool that it's still going on. It's such a great game. There's a lot of people who don't understand Mortal Kombat. There's a guy works one of my local game shops. He doesn't like Mortal Kombat. I think he just likes banging it out just to try and get a rise out of me. You know, because I always go, you're just a stupid fucking idiot. Like, I say it as a joke. You don't know anything. You just like Street Fighter. You just like heart fireball spamming, you know. You know, I just give him shit like that. But I think he just doesn't get a rise out of me. But, yeah. Fuck. I think I am getting a cold, man. Especially with all this talking. Uh-oh. Shit. I gotta give a talk tomorrow, too. I'm fucked. For work, so. Yeah. So, oh, man. It's crazy. Mortal Kombat 1, 2, 3, 4... Deadly Alliance, Deception, Armageddon, Shaolin Monk, Special Forces, Mythologies, Trilogy, Gold, you know, Conquest, the movie, the second movie, Annihilation, you know, all this stuff. There's just so much Mortal Kombat stuff. It's so rich, you know. That's what's so cool about it. So anyway, I'm gonna wrap this up now, and thanks for watching and listening. And yeah, check out my website at the moment. There should be a 10-year thing
because yeah, I've posted already. All the loading screens are up right now, and I'm going to be posting a bit more stuff through September, and hopefully, yeah, maybe even if it takes longer, I'll post stuff until I run out stuff to post. But shit. Yeah. So yeah. What was I going to say? Something else to say. I think that's it. Oh man. Anyway, thank you for watching, and yeah. For those of you who are wondering when my next review's coming, it'll probably be the second episode of Mortal Kombat Conquest. Mortal Kombat Conquest TV show. Sorry, I'm just lost for words. My throat's a bit hoarse. So yeah, Mortal Kombat Conquest TV show. I'm sort of in the process of doing that next. I just got to think what to say, which parts I'm going to talk about at the second episode, and things like that. So that'll probably be my next review. And yeah, I want to thank all you guys for your support throughout the last 10 years. I especially want to thank the Mortal Kombat team for making the greatest video game of all time. You know, Ed Boon, John Tobias, even though I've never met John. Everyone who works on the game, Steve Baran, you know, Brian Lieberon, Paulo Garcia, Dan Forden, John Podlasek, sorry, Sean Hemerick, Steve Baran, did I say Steve Baran? Steve Baran, Tony Goski, you know, everyone who works on the game, you guys do a sterling job, absolute sterling job on the parts of the game that you work on. I want to thank the marketing, even though I bitched about marketing a bit in this video, you know. I think that was just last time, you know, and I don't think it'll be like that anymore, especially now that Wanderers are in control. Although it could be worse, I don't know. We'll see. But I think that was just last year. So, like I said, it was just one person anyway. Most of the people at the Midway booth last year were really cool. So, and yeah, and I want to thank you guys, the fans. And I do this for you guys, you know. I do it for me too, to support my passion. But it's cool when we all get along, and it's cool when I can post things like these loading screens, you know, because that has been a mission for me for so long, to get those out and get them online so fans can appreciate them. Because I see them on my TV and I'm like, that is such a cool screen. That would be a grouse wallpaper. But there's no way you can get it as wallpaper unless you take a photo or capture, but it never looks as good, you know, so that's why I did it. Thanks guys, and I'll see you for the next review. And now I'm gonna finish this video off with some photos of me the day I got the Mortal Kombat. So I usually take a photo. I'm gonna finish off with those. And there's also a video here of me opening MK Deception for the first time. The video is incomplete, but I'll put up what I've got because I think you guys will get a kick out of it. That's my cousin talking to me in the video, telling me to open it. Hurry up, come on, rip it open, you know. It's a cool video, so thanks for watching and enjoy.
So what are you doing, Luke?
I'm opening it for the first time. If I can get through the plastic.
We only have one take. Oh, I wish I could zoom on it. I can. He's opening it. Rip that plastic.
Try not to fuck the box up.
Get the determination on him. Rip that shit off. Slide the box out.
There we go, we're in.
Slide it out. There you go. It's sealed again.
It's sealed again.
Is it barcode?
And look at this.
Alright then. Open the seal. I want to see the discs.
Alright, pick up the seal. The Xbox official seal. The official Xbox seal from the States, from Midway.
Verification.
Verification.
Complete. Get a Stanley knife. Rip through that shit.
I should get a Stanley knife, eh?
I like my Stanley knife.
I should
DVD opening can never be so easy.
That express opener I've got somewhere is good.
Rainer didn't like it. Leaves a mark on it, dude.
a tiny little piss weak scratch. Oh my god! I'm almost in.
What are you gonna do with the barcode? You gonna rip it off?
Oh,
Or
no,
gonna
later.
be a gay?
Oh yeah, you gotta
Don't save it.
forgot about this. No, I'll just cut it.
Good.
I've never opened an Xbox game. Brand new. Because when I bought it from Target, Deadly Alliance,